Guys, what's up? This is my Hits Vermont vlog. My car is all packed. I'm heading over to my friend's house so we can drive together. Hi guys. We are about 2 hours in, 5 to go. Something like that. No. But yeah, we are on our way and we just got food and now it's absolutely pouring. Yep. The trip was supposed to take about 6.5 hours, but took about 9 because we got a flat tire, which is pictured here, and got stuck in some traffic and stopped twice, which just took longer than we expected, but eventually we made it to Vermont. Hi guys, it is Friday morning. It is 6:55 right now. We are having an earlier morning.
It's a little too early.
Yeah. I look at the schedule and I see that I'm like the second division to go and the first division only has like 3 people in it. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be early. And then my trainer's like, yeah, you can get here at like 7:15 and we're like a half hour from the show. And we left at like 1:15 yesterday. It was supposed to be like a 6-hour, 6:30 drive. Didn't get there till 10:30. So it was like a good 9-hour drive because we got a flat tire and stopped and then got stuck in a little bit of traffic. So after that, like, nightmarish trip getting here so late. I'm just so glad we have an early morning. But we're getting to enjoy the pretty scenery and just trying to be happy. So normally I go to these shows with my mom, but she was getting ready to travel to New Mexico to visit her parents, my grandparents. So I hitched a ride with a friend and went. But here is some lovely scenery. I had never been to Vermont, so I was just basking in all the glory. It was so pretty. And the showgrounds were also just beautiful because it's right in like the dip of the valley, so you have mountains on both sides. Good boy. Wow, so smart. Actually taking the apple. Do you feel ready? Yeah. Oh, thank you. He's on top of it today when he's eating his apple correctly. Never mind. Okay, so first of all, look how gorgeous this ring is. This is amazing. I have never been to Vermont and I really want to go back now. But this is our 2 trips from Friday. We kind of made the mistake of not looking at the show schedule when booking our Airbnb because we just assumed that the Low Children's went Saturday, Sunday, because it always goes Saturday, Sunday. Not at this show. It went Thursday, Friday, which means I missed the first part of my division on Thursday. So I just did the 2 over fences on Friday. When I went to Hits Culpeper, it was Saturday, Sunday, so I don't know. But he was feeling very good on Friday. He was having a bit of a play around like that. He was just like extra fresh and had a lot of energy. And if you don't work out his energy, he can just play around. But for the most part, this trip was pretty good. We had that pretty long spot at that Oxer. And we had some playing around, obviously, because he was just feeling extra special. He doesn't do anything bad when he's fresh. He just has built up energy and he likes to get it out by throwing his head down and wiggling his butt around a little bit extra. But we had a lot of pace, so it was very easy to get down the lines, which I really appreciate. And I don't think the judge seemed to mind the fact that he was playing all too much because we ended up actually doing pretty well in that class. And I walked out of that class thinking, oh gosh, we didn't place at all, but we got third. So, I was pretty happy with that. And then this was our second trip, which was worse. But, that's okay. Just going to the first jump, totally swapped off the lead, which, first course going to the first jump, we had absolutely zero pace. Second course going to the first jump, we swapped off our lead. So, just bad all around. No, I'm kidding. It's just like the stupid little things that, cost us from getting first. And then obviously he was having a bit of a play around this course as well. But overall, pretty good. Just he had that swap, and then he also swaps to the Oxer like a couple strides out, which was worse than, just a stride out. But overall, still very, acceptable course. I was just definitely shocked that we placed third in first course, and then we got fourth in this course. With his playing and swapping, I was like, no, we're not going to place at all. So, not complaining. So we just finished. He is feeling good. Anyway, he's feeling good because it's colder here. It was like 50 this morning, and in Pennsylvania it's been like 90, 95 recently. So he was feeling very fresh today. He got schooled in the morning by my trainer, but I guess that wasn't enough. So he was carrying me really well, which I appreciate, because I would much rather that than having to push him down everything and then lose all equitation and riding ability, quite honestly. Yeah, hi. Okay. But since he was feeling very good, he was playing a bit and swapped once or twice. But yeah, other than that, he was very good. We made it down all the lines without any problems, which is our biggest win, isn't it, buddy? We're gonna do a equitation class tomorrow, and then we have our derby tomorrow. And I'm gonna see if I placed in this division, but there were 24 people, I think. Just a few. So, probably not.
For the young force class now, this is at 32 points.
Hi. We are going for a little stroll right now in their beautiful fields with mountain views all around, which is very nice. Someone is trying to graze a lot. We're trying to get some energy out of him by just walking him around. So yeah, but we placed today, and not only did we place, we placed well. We got third and fourth out of 24, which I was not really expecting. But yeah, very happy with him. Very happy with that. Tomorrow we are doing the derby, and then we're doing the equitation. So we get to mix some different stuff in there. I've done some like medals and stuff in the past, but that's kind of just because my division ran Thursday, Friday, and we weren't here Thursday. So we're gonna do the equitation on Saturday along with the derby to just be able to show a little more. So yeah. Good morning. It is Saturday right now. It's 6:30 in the morning. Got up at 5:45. A nice early morning again. We were going to the show to course walk at like 7:15, and then we have the derby and the equitation. So whichever goes first of those, but they both start at 8 a.m. But derby had like 28 people last night, and equitation had like 18 people. So I don't know when we'll go. There are not many days in the history of the 6 years that I've been horse showing where I got to the horse show and pretty much showed right away. But this was one of them. So we got there at like 7:15, 7:30, course walked for the derby, and then pretty much went back, got dressed, and then rode in the equitation. So this was our first trip. He was definitely a lot more calm and slowed down mentally and physically as well this day, which was good because he wasn't throwing his head down and playing. Although when we were schooling in the schooling ring, he was definitely swapping as well. So I was just really hoping for that not to happen, which it didn't happen in this trip. But it did happen the rest of the day, so we'll get to that. But this trip was pretty much like picture perfect. I was very, very happy with it, except for the fact that we didn't really ride out into our corners as well as I should have. But for, being in the equitation, it wasn't bad. And I got out of the ring, and my trainer, she just always asks, "How do you think that went? How did that feel? What are your thoughts?" And I'm always like, "Kelsey, this feels like a trap." I don't know. I literally just forget the whole course as soon as it happens, unless something really bad happens, like a chip or a launch or a swap or something. But then I always end up forgetting something else in the course. But she was like, "How'd you feel?" And I was like, "I felt like that was pretty good, except for the equitation part. And it was good. We got first out of 18 people. So, I'm not complaining." And she goes, "It's not about the equitation part. It's about the rest of the course." And I was like, "Yes." But I was like, I have no clue how I place because it is an equitation and I'm not an equitation rider. So I was very happily surprised by first place. This was our second course, which was still good. It wasn't as great because of this moment right here where he just swapped off his lead, like 5 strides out. And then we got a little bit short to that jump. So, obviously that costs us, a first place. So, it's just, those tiny, stupid mistakes, which are just really annoying. But for this day and this ring and these lines, we made it down all of them very easily, not having to push or feel like I was running, which I was happy with. I don't know if I just had a really good pace with him or the lines were possibly set a little bit shorter, but I was happy with that. And the rest of this course was pretty much the same as the first course. Very, very good. Just, that one swap cost us first. And we ended up placing 5th. And then after those 2 EC courses, we went back in the schooling ring, tried to fix his swapping, managed to do well with that in the schooling ring, then quickly changed and went straight to derby. So I was like, okay, we're ready. We just had our technically warm-up trips pretty much because, it's the equitation. So this is our derby trip, where they also did a derby on Friday. That was the 2-foot derby in this ring. And when I went to go look at the course, it was the exact same as the 2-foot derby. So I was like, okay. First off, lame. Second off, that's great because I watched a bunch of trips of the 2-foot derby go. This derby course was so easy and so boring and so lame, but whatever. And it was a hunt and go. So the first part was the classic, second part was the handy, and there was only option. It was this jump, which was low option, or that oxer, which was like a 3-foot oxer high option. So since he's limited to the 2.6, we decided not to do that. And that jump, those 2 options, were on course twice as the options. So this is what I mean, just saying it's a lame course. We really had to ride down this line because when we walked the course, it was set like 2 steps long. But we managed to make it down. So those were the first 5 jumps. Second 5 jumps were the handy. So we did this roll back. And I saw so many people like launching this jump right here. And then I was thinking that as I was going to it, but didn't make a ton of effort to ride up. So we were like a slight bit long, a little bit lofty. And then we come to this same options again. He jumps it good and then swaps off the lead. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? And then we trotted so early because I was like frantic. I was like, what the heck? He's never swapped off the lead after the jump. He has only ever swapped off leads going before the jump. So I was just like totally not expecting that. But we managed to do our trot jump and we got like a perfect distance to the last jump. And then there were only 10 jumps. I'm like, Hits, come on, this is like a terrible derby course, no offense. But going over that last jump, I just was thinking in my head as I was going over it, I was like, this is my last jump with him probably ever, because my lease technically ended July 31st, but we took him to this show and went over because it went to August 3rd. But then when we were trotting and leaving the ring, I was like petting him and I started crying and I was like, that was my last trip ever. And it was just like, I was happy because it was a good trip and I was just so sad because I'm like, it's my last trip. And I started crying and my trainers are like, why are you crying? And I'm like, there's so many reasons. And I didn't hear my scores because they were talking to me, but I think they were both in the 80s. I'm not sure. We ended up getting 5th, which I was happy with. I was just like, I could have done better. I could have gotten first, you know? But it was out of 34 people, so 5th isn't bad. Then I watched some people from the barn go, got a nice pina colada smoothie. I just got a fresh donut and we got our first place prize of treats. So we're gonna go give them to him and hope that he likes them. What do you think? Oh, he is a fan. Oh, good boy. I had a little nibble too. Yeah, he really likes that. But yeah, so today we got 1st and 5th in our equitation, which I'm very happy with. Our first trip was like pretty perfect, and then our second trip we just had to swap out, so that definitely dropped us down. But for me never ever doing the equitation, and out of 18 people, I am pretty happy with that. So yeah, and then Derby was good. Again, like just stupid little mistakes that kept us from like getting first or something. So, but we got 5th out of 28, so, you know, not bad, but just like the stupid stuff, like the swap, like he was definitely had that more mindset today of wanting to swap, and I just wasn't doing enough to stop. No, my treats. I wasn't doing enough to stop that, so yeah. Then we came back from the show, went for a nice little hike, and found some cool rocks. And then it was on to our last day, which was Sunday, which I wasn't showing, and neither was my friend. When we got to the show, I found him laying down, and I wanted a picture so bad, and then he got up. He never lays down. I just wanted to make sure. But I took him for a nice little graze. Hello, good morning. It's kind of late morning. It's already like 10 o'clock. But yeah, I'm not showing today. So I came just to walk him around. We're going for a walk in the gorgeous backfields and going for a bit of a graze. And then we're headed out today. Say bye, buddy. I just gave him food and now he's over it. He's looking for scraps on the ground. Then we did a little bit of shopping where I didn't get anything, even though I really wanted this TKX shirt, and headed home. But for our last show ever together, I was very, very happy with how it went. And thank you guys for watching. Bye!